Things that will be in the theater very, very soon that I can't be more excited about. And obviously, the man himself, the mayor of movies, Tom Cruise, is very excited as well. Digger is almost here.
No. Stop. He's not the mayor of movies. I think we need to take this moment and officially crown him
the king of movies. Tell me in the history of the 100 years of movies, if any one actor or actress was in this present time right now, which one of them would have gone, you know what, to promote my new movie, 4 minutes of my own sizzle reel. What's up, guys? The balls, and I love it.
So here's why I say he's the king of movies. Besides the fact that he basically used his clout and his name to call the heads of studios during COVID and lie his ass off about making movies so he can get his movies made. It kept Hollywood going at a time when it could have failed. And what did he make during COVID? Top Gun Maverick.
Just a little movie called Top Gun Maverick.
Okay. Now, we're going to go through his career because the crazy thing about his career, he hasn't done a ton of movies, but each one is very notable. He might have the best career of any actor. Okay?
Let's do it, baby.
First
Second
movie.
Half of the show, Tom Cruise. Woo-woo.
1981, he had 2 movies. Endless Love and Taps. You ever heard of Taps?
Many people have heard of Taps, never seen Taps, but I'm very aware of it.
Then we have Losing It.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a little movie by Francis Ford Coppola called The Outsiders.
May have changed everybody's career in that movie.
Then you have Risky Business.
Tom Cruising.
Dude, what can you say about Risky Business besides the fact that it's, first of all, one of the most popular movies of the 80s?
Yep. Yeah, we did weird things in the 80s, though.
Yeah. Okay. Then you have All the Right Moves. Another big movie. Then you have what could be argued as one of his smallest movies, like in terms of box office, but still a Ridley Scott fantasy epic, Legend.
Never seen it. Is it streaming anywhere right now?
I don't know. I'm going to find out. I actually wrote a paper about it in college. Then you have a little flick called Top Gun.
Yes, it was a thing. Don't want to claim that I was on board with Top Gun. I acknowledge it.
I have gone on board as saying I'm not a fan of the first one, really. Yeah. But I'm also not going to take away from it its cultural impact, which is
absolutely not
huge. Yep. Then he starred in a movie directed by Martin Scorsese called Color of Money.
Can we pause here for a second because I'm going to cite us to get us back to this. There was complaints today and yesterday that the needle drop in Supergirl is the worst needle drop in history. So I wanted to give shout out to The Color of Money, the best needle drop in history when he's playing
Werewolf in London.
Oh, come on. That was perfect.
I don't know if it's the best. I mean, Scorsese alone.
But it's amazing.
I mean, Sunshine in Your Love.
Sure.
Smoke on the Water.
Yeah. Every Stone's song.
Yeah.
Sympathy for the Devil.
Song, yeah. Can't You Hear Me Knocking? Yeah, like all.
Sure.
Okay, then he did Cocktail, which was not only a huge movie, but gave the Beach Boys one of their biggest hits of all time. Okay.
Watch this. Boom. Ha, that's my cocktail.
There you go. Every bartender that does that wants to be Tom Cruise. Okay. He was uncredited in Young Guns, which I love. Oh, by the way, the Fan Expo in Dallas in September has the cast of Young Guns.
Nice. I got Shatner coming here, and you get Young Guns. That's not bad.
Oh, I'll pull up the cast, the guest list here in a minute because it's insane. Anyway, then you have a movie that won Best Picture, Rain Man.
Yep, I bet.
And a movie that treated autism, which most people didn't even know about at the time, and didn't treat it as something to be scared of, and it wasn't making fun of it. He wasn't doing a caricature. Dustin Hoffman wasn't doing a caricature or anything. Like, he was trying to be accurate to the type of deeply autistic people that he studied.
Sure.
But that movie, incredibly important movie. Then you have Born on the 4th of July.
Real uplifter right there.
Yeah. Then Days of Thunder.
Dumb ass question about Days of Thunder. Does my brain remember this right? Were they never allowed to actually put cameras on the ground at the Daytona 500? They had to do everything in the helicopter because of whatever regulations.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe.
I feel better now.
Then Far and Away, which I saw in the theater. Love that movie. A Few Good Men.
Nice. Well, yeah. I mean, I can't handle the truth any more than I could then.
The Firm.
You know what? Underrated. My favorite underrated Tom Cruise movie right there. He was magical.
Do you know why The Firm isn't remembered more?
No, I don't.
Because it came out the same year as Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, and like Disclosure. Not Disclosure. The other one, the one with Demi and Robert Redford. What was it?
Oh yes, Indecent Proposal. Yes, dude. And I can tell you, out of those 4, only one of those did this guy see at the time, and it was The Firm.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't see
the other
Jurassic
3
Park in the theater?
I absolutely did not. 100%. I was so against Jurassic Park at the time. Zombies couldn't have dragged me to see that in the theater.
Why?
That wasn't my thing when I was a kid, man. All that fanciful stuff, yeah, didn't do it. No, but I can tell you every Lenny Dykstra stat that you might ever want to know.
I'm sometimes surprised we're friends.
I know. I know.
I've actually had people who listen to the pod say, you guys don't agree on anything. Friends.
That's what makes it great.
I think so. Okay, then you have Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
Which he's awesome in. Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire. And then he has a series of like 5 movies, which are insane.
What a run.
Eyes Wide Shut and Magnolia in the same year.
Can't even handle it.
Mission Impossible 2.
Maybe the best.
Vanilla Sky and Minority Report. Like, Okay. Then he steals Austin Powers and Goldmember.
The worst movie ever made.
Right. He's in it for like two shots, and he steals the movie. The Last Samurai, which I am not a fan of. Right. This is the first one we've gotten to where I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Okay. A couple things. I did want to reiterate again that was that Austin Powers 3rd is the worst movie ever made. Also, I saw The Last Samurai in the theater. I just want to make sure that the real Tom Cruise heads know that.
Okay. So I actually took a class about it.
Nice.
There was a class at USC that if you took it, you studied one movie all year from conception, like the writing, the production, release, everything. And the thing was, you didn't know what movie it was until the first day of class. The semester before I took it, it was Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle.
Oh, wow.
And the semester before that, it was Adaptation. So these were wildly different movies.
Yep.
We studied The Last Samurai, and the only person who made the movie basically that didn't come in was Tom Cruise. The visual effects supervisor came in and spilled like 30 years worth of tea. I've talked about that before.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
First day of class, after our lecture, we watched the movie, on film. And after we took our final on the last day, they screened the movie again. And by that point, I hated the movie so much that I took the final and everyone sat back down for the movie to run. And I was sitting next to my friend Sam, and the movie started, and like 2 minutes in, I just went, no. And I was like, Sam, I'm out, and just left. So far, we're at 2003. He'd been making movies for 22 years, and this is the first one I didn't like. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Then you have Collateral.
Give the people some context of a bad Tom Cruise with the hair. Both of those two things were just unthinkable before.
This is the only time I think he's ever played a bad guy, right?
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah. Collateral, not only was it different for him because he's playing a bad guy, and one of the best villains of all time.
Absolutely.
And not only is he working with Michael Mann, but that movie legitimized shooting on video.
100%. Yep.
And he was part of that.
Yep. Yo, homie, is that my briefcase? Greatest line in cinema history.
And then what did he follow it up with the next year? War of the Worlds. One of the
wildly underrated. Wildly underrated.
It's getting its love now. And I showed it to my kids recently, and I was surprised by how dark of a movie it is, because it's basically Spielberg dealing with the horrors of 9/11 and like how you cope in that world. Like the scene where they stop on the side of the road and the daughter's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And she walks down towards this river and she sees a body and then another. And then like the river's filled with bodies. And her dad then grabs her and covers her eyes. Like, don't look. That's him basically saying, we're trying to shield and protect our kids, but it's too late.
It's too late, man.
They've seen this on TV for the last 4 years. They've watched people jump to their deaths.
Yeah.
It's a really solemn movie that I think if they just made one little change, if the son wasn't there at the end, I think people would hail it as one of his best movies.
No, okay.
But, okay, then you have Mission Impossible 3.
Maybe the worst of those.
I don't think it's the worst. That's the kind of the moment where I think people were taking it seriously. Because Mission Impossible 2 is kind of a cartoon.
But Mission Impossible 2, not unlike Too Fast, Too Furious, is the best, like, just generic movie of the whole thing. The rest of them are about Ethan Hunt, or that, the other, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought 3 was the... Anyways, Lions for Lambs, well, I'll ride or die for that.
Yeah. Okay. Tropic Thunder.
Not bad. Just a character that he's lived on for the last 18 years, plus which may be the Digger character.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then a movie that I think is highly underrated, and one that people, at the time, people were like, well, he's not using an accent, but no one cares now with The Odyssey. You know, everyone in The Odyssey is speaking like, modern English, and Valkyrie.
I was
highly
wildly offended that they spoke regular ass English in this movie. Is there a rhyme or reason for why I felt that way in this thing versus another thing? No, not really. It just felt like when I was watching it again in the theater, because I see Tom Cruise in the theater, I was just like, why aren't we fucking speaking German for this story?
Right. But the thing is, no one gets upset when you have a bunch of British people doing Julius Caesar.
Yeah. It's selectively offensive. But for whatever reason, that one was offensive to me.
Then you have a movie that was...
Okay, I've seen it 6 times now, and every time I'm just like, why didn't this work? This doesn't work, but it's so close to working, but then it didn't work, and then there was the Oprah Count situation, and yes, go, please.
I think it might have been Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
I think, like, is she a raw?
Well, I think you could extend that to the chemistry between the two. That was another huge factor.
No, you have to get into the movie to see the chemistry. You have to wonder why people didn't go to the theater in the first place. And I think it's because I don't think she's that big of a draw.
Well, no, I agree. But also that was the Tom Cruise couch time. So that's why.
That's true. Although it was right after Tropic Thunder. So this is a few years after that. War of the Worlds is when he did the couch thing. Okay, then you have Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Which, biggest and best stunts, so far up to that point.
Oh boy, we're about to get into some jams right now. Hit me with Rock of Ages. Hit me, baby.
Rock of Ages, which he's good in, and everyone's like, oh, he can sing. I've never seen the movie itself, but people know of it.
People know that. Put that on the poster. Okay, I'm going to be honest. This was a Tom Cruise movie I did not see in the theater. 2 facts about this movie.
One is you hate musicals.
That's probably true. But also, Tom Cruise actually did have a blast doing this, and I would love for him to go back to a character like this. And number 2, gotta love it because Stephen Jenkins, the lead singer from Third Eye Blind, had a scene in here. So, moving on to Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. Which,
also my jam.
Everybody.
Nothing like the book at all.
No. But that's why we have the TV show. Then you have Oblivion, which started
I enjoyed.
his love affair with that director.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
Edge of Tomorrow, which is fantastic.
It's actually live, die, repeat as far as I'm concerned. But,
Yeah.
I'm an old head like that.
Then you have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, and then
Maybe his worst movie. Maybe the worst.
No, because we're coming up on his worst movie, which also I think might be his biggest flop.
Oh, man.
The Mummy.
I know. I have no reason to support it, but I do. I can't help it. Jake Johnson's in there. It's stupid and wonderful and ridiculous. It pales in comparison to the Brendan Fraser version, of course, but I don't know, man.
I don't understand why they always overcomplicate these new Mummy movies.
They can't help it.
The new one, it's like, our daughter's been missing and we found her in a sarcophagus. But
I know. I was like, what?
It's like, no. Set it in the 30s. Have some people unearth the mummy and the stuff goes bad. Like, it's real simple, guys. Like, don't overthink these things. Then you have American Made, which, man, you pair that with Blow and you have got one heck of a double feature.
Oh, 100%. Nobody's ever going to really watch that movie for whatever particular reason, but Barry Still's story in general is a fascinating story. I would definitely recommend if you want a little history of the cocaine trade in California in the 80s. Gary Webb is going to be your answer to all those questions.
And to see how terrible the CIA is, right?
Yeah.
Mission Impossible Fallout. That's the one I was thinking of, where they do the Halo.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right.
Then they have listed the music video Au revoir, Chris Hemsworth, that he's in the end of, which is actually really funny. Top Gun Maverick.
For all things together, is Top Gun Maverick his greatest achievement?
119%.
Crazy how that is. All these years later, 2022, and Tom Cruise, and that's why he's king of the movies. It's that right there.
And then you have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning 1 and 2. Like, you go through this list, and there are like 2 or 3 movies that aren't big hits.
Yeah.
Or at least, critically memorable and loved. He's the king of movies.
His understanding about human nature and what they can feel and understand in movies is second to none. I've told the story before, but Jake Johnson, when they were doing The Mummy together, Jake Johnson was trying to do like a little improv, extra little stuff, and then so after the take was over, Tom pulled him aside and said, "Hey, look, yes, that was funny. However, it was funny in English. When we translate to Mandarin, that's an extra 2 seconds that they're wasting because they don't get your joke. We got to streamline that, and that's why that's why there's no need to do that, because I'm thinking about all these other things, and that mindset is, I can't imagine the studio dudes are like that."
Well, little things like when he shows up at the premiere for Twisters, and he's standing there with Glenn Powell, who he tried to take under his wing.
Yep.
And they're taking pictures, and he, without even saying anything, reaches over and takes the tub of popcorn that Glenn Powell was holding on to, pulls it up, and turns the logo of the movie towards the camera.
Yeah.
King of movies.
Yeah.
King of movies.
King of movies.
Also,
I love the video where he walks in. I think it was last year, maybe the year before that. He's walking into a screening. He looks down and he's like, "Hey, you already ate all your popcorn?" Oh my God! If Tom Cruise calls me out for eating all my popcorn before the movie, I don't know if I could handle that. Oh man!
Well, and, years ago he was on the Nerdist podcast, and one thing you can tell from the guy, he loves movies. He loves everything about movies, and he's kind of an encyclopedia of film history. I'm not talking about anything in his personal life. I'm not talking about anything else like that. That is enough, like everything that we've seen. It's enough to crown him king of movies. And I think he's kind of like the actor version of Spielberg.
Okay.
As in, it's always like, ever since he started his career and blew up, it's like, oh, this person's the next Tom Cruise. This person's the next Tom Cruise. Glenn Powell's the next Tom Cruise, so much so that Tom Cruise took him under his wing. And no one's been the next Tom Cruise because there's only one Tom Cruise.
And even looking through the history of movies, maybe 3 people all time are at that level. Cary Grant. Cary Grant was the first one that comes to my mind.
I would normally agree, but I think his list of hits to misses isn't even close to Cruise.
That's fair. Yeah, that's definitely
especially fair. When you talk about like finding that middle line of stuff people like box office wise, and then people respect.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's an impossible job.
And the fact that at the top of his game, he basically said, "Wait, Kubrick wants to make a movie with me." And he said that like making Eyes Wide Shut cost him like $200 million.
Yeah.
Because that's time he could have been making like 3 other movies that would have made him $200 million. But he wanted to work with Stanley so bad that he did that. And then the movie came out and people were like, it sucks. And now people look at it and they're like, well, is this the best Kubrick? It might be.
Not me. I sat in the car with my best friend for 15 minutes after the movie's going, what the fuck just happened? I'm different now. I'll tell you that. I am different now.
Well, I met Tom Cruise at the premiere for that when I was 16. And that was a heck of a summer. A heck of a summer. Yeah. I met him and Nicole at the premiere. And then, it was... I remember watching the movie, like we didn't know anything about it, except Baby Did a Bad Thing is in the trailer. Mm-hmm. And, Harvey Keitel got fired.
Right. Yeah, I don't even remember my mindset going into it. My buddy was just like, you want to go watch this? And I was like, yeah. And I mean, obviously I'd seen the trailer and stuff, but I didn't have a history with Kubrick at that point. I was still very young.
Well, at our age, it was the only movie of his that we could have seen in the theater.
No, that's fair too, but I wish that I would have gotten 2001 when I was younger. That would have been really cool. But whatever. We live, we learn.
I had seen Barry Lyndon in 2001 before. And I loved 2001, and Barry Lyndon at the time I didn't like, and now I've realized I was just too young. Like 16, 17, like you're too young for Barry Lyndon, really.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you're like Barry Lyndon at the beginning of the movie. You're like him, and like you have to be older to understand like just how big of an F up he is. But
sure.
But yeah, Tom Cruise, King of Movies.
King of Movies, Tom Cruise. All right, let's get in a little quick segment before we go for the day. AV Club had a best of films of 2026 list. It is, we're halfway through the year. I wanted to check in with you and see
I don't think I've seen enough movies to talk about it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you don't need like a whole list or anything. I'm just like 2 or 3. I mean, we already talked about Send Help. To me, I think that's going to end up on the end of year list for me. Do you have anything else that you've seen so far?
Project Hail Mary, I love.
Oh, yep. I think that's going to be on my list too.
My issue with that is it came out way too early in the year.
Of course,
they're going to have to do a re-release to remind people of how much they liked it. Because I've got a feeling we're getting into territory where, because it doesn't come out on Blu-ray for like another few months,
right? Maybe that's the trick too. Maybe
the way it used to be, but.
Sure.
I've got a feeling that they didn't hit it at the right time, and we're entering. Oh yeah, I remember that movie phase. Which
I mean,
deserves.
It's so hard to keep anything in the zeitgeist anymore. Are you interested in Obsession? That seems to be the one.
I'm gonna go see it with Ava because she wants to see it. I'm interested, but I'm wondering if it's going to do anything different than what I think it's going to do, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense because I feel the exact same way. I've read the Wikipedia page just because I was curious about like how they were doing it, like what the plan there was. And I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Backrooms. It's good.
Yeah. Devil Wears Prada was fun. I don't know if it's going to make my list, but I had a blast watching it. Are you ready? I'm going to go ahead and roll us in to our final
segment. Day.
Oh, Disclosure Day. There you go.
Disclosure
That's
Day.
Terrible that we both just snoozed on that already.
No, I was wanting to do, and I'm going to do a review of it for this channel, but I wanted to see it a second time, and I just saw it a second time.
Yeah.
And because I've got a lot of thoughts on it, and not like bad. It's just I think Disclosure Day, the one place it suffers is that it's not the movie people wanted it to be. They wanted a new version of Close Encounters, and that's not the movie at all. This movie's not about aliens. Not really.
Right. Yeah.
It's about us. And there's just a lot of stuff in it where like it almost feels like one of Spielberg's smallest movies.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, cause like really you take a look at it and you're like, you've got like 4 or 5 locations.
Yeah.
It's not a big movie. And people were wanting they were basically wanting 2 hours of the ending of Close Encounters, where it's just ships coming out of the sky over and over.
Yeah.
And that's not what it is. And my kids loved it. My wife actually says it's like her 4th favorite Spielberg. And I've got a feeling it's going to be one that I end up rewatching a lot. And the more I think about it, I think the last 45 minutes are some of his best stuff for the last 20 years. But I will say one thing that I think might be holding it back as well is the fact that the first half of the movie, or like the first hour of the movie, barely has any music in it. And people aren't used to that with him.
Sure.
Once the music kicks up, spoilers, once they get to the warehouse, and John Williams' score really comes in, the movie starts firing in a gear that I didn't know it had. And by the end, I was getting emotional. I wasn't sure why, and it wasn't like normal manipulative things. It was something deeper. And I've been trying to figure that out. And the fact that I haven't been able to stop thinking about the movie is a very good sign. But I don't know if I'm putting it on my best of or whatever. But yeah.
I'll be happy to see it a second time as well. And that says something, because that's not really my kind of flick. So anywho's, at the end of the show, we always give people a little...
Oh, wait, before we do that, we do you have a minute?
Well, I was going to talk about Mother Mary, but yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, okay.
Are you ready?
I do want to get to this thing about the 35 millimeter scans.
Oh yes.
Yeah, just because it's a timely topic, and I there's a lot of nuance I don't think people are getting into, and if anything pops off on social, I kind of want it to be this. But you've seen all this hullabaloo about 35 millimeter scans, where people are finding old film prints and they're scanning them in themselves and then distributing them for free online, which I kind of love.
God's work right there. God's work.
Really, because it's not easy and it's not cheap.
Nope.
But then you have people saying, well, this isn't the way it's meant to be seen because these are prints that are old, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing. I get both sides. I get the fact it's not a clean print, like exactly how the negative would show it. Except, here's the thing, especially with older movies, when you would watch them on film, you wouldn't be watching a pristine copy. You would be watching an old faded copy that is 2 generations down. It's kind of like in THX 1138. They said that the scene where he's getting tortured in that white room, they went with sounds that felt like a thunderstorm, because they knew after the first week of showing this in the theaters, that fully white room, it would have scratches on the film from just being run through the projector.
Sure.
And it would look like rain.
That's foresight right there, man.
Exactly. Ooh. Okay. So point being, like, if this all really kicked up when someone put up a side-by-side of Toy Story, the original Toy Story from 1995, on a scanned film print versus the version that is available on Blu-ray, right? But here's the problem. The version that's available on Blu-ray isn't the original version. They've basically had to re-render it, okay? The closest thing that you're going to get to what people watched in the theater and how it was meant to be seen in 1995 is the film print.
100%.
It's not even a scan of the negative. It's the film print.
Yeah.
And that it's episode 2, when they were doing Star Wars episode 2, they didn't shoot on film. And they found that when they were doing the lightsaber effects, their process had to change because they were also sending it out not just on film, but digitally, and how they looked completely different on digital projection than they did on film. Because, again, different format.
Sure.
So, do I think that 35 millimeter film scans are the best way of watching it? Not always. But there's something about it that makes it feel like you are sitting in a second-run theater watching this again, the way it was originally meant to be seen. Yeah, I want to see a copy that's clean and pristine, but if you want to watch the, Terminator 2 or True Lies, take a look at what they've done, since the film release, where they'll scrub it. They'll get rid of the grain. They'll do AI upscaling, sharpening. It's no longer how it was meant to be seen originally.
Exactly.
I think that there is a good place for both of these things to live. But when you're talking about especially movies with early CGI, you need that film grain.
You gotta have that film grain.
Because that's how,
spit on myself.
That's how it's meant to be seen. I have a couple of different versions of Jurassic Park on 35 mil. Like there's an open matte scan that's going around. There are a couple of different cropped versions. And I have it on VHS. I have it on DVD. Have it on Blu-ray. I have a couple of different copies on 4K. One that has Dolby, one that Vision, one that doesn't. And the one that I tend to like watching the most is the film print, because I've seen that thing like 6 or 7 times on film. I remember what it looks like, and that is the closest, and the CGI blends better. A lot of these things, if you can get a really good print, that's the closest to how it would have looked when you were watching it in the theater at the time. Yep. So I think the people who are like, you have to have one or the other, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on for that, you're both wrong. You need both.
Yep.
You need both.
We adore the Pulp Fiction 35 scan we have. Like, yeah. I mean, I've traveled with that to other people who have seen Pulp Fiction multiple times. They're like, no. You gotta watch this. We're gonna get a 35 millimeter scan. Be like when you watch it in the theater for the first time. All right. I love that. Yes, I agree 1,000% on both those. We can have both, and it's okay. I watch stuff on VHS sometimes. What are you going to do? This is the segment where we reflect on how amazing that we were today in the podcast and how perfect an episode it was. So perfect that Kiefer Sutherland almost thought about text messaging me to tell me so, but he doesn't have my number, so he didn't do it. But if he did, he also probably wouldn't do it. Hey, I should have said, you know what I should have said, man? You know what I really should have said? I should have said something about, what's his name that I acted with before? Gosh, dang it all. Who was in Blade? What's that guy's name? Not Blade. Who was the bad guy? Good Lord in heaven. What was the bad guy's name?
Stephen Dorff?
There you go. Yeah, me and Stephen Dorff had a moment when we did that TV show called Sheriff together. We were standing next to each other. And I really felt that he liked me, and I really felt that he would love our show if he knew about it. So that's all to say. What do you tell the people they should watch in the week ahead?
Man, go see Disclosure Day if you haven't seen it. I loved it. Trying to figure out the degree to which I loved it, but go in and meet it on its terms. Don't bring your stuff in.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have any stuff, so I brought no stuff in. I failed David Lowery earlier in the year, but I did not last night. I paid to rent David Lowery's new movie, Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway last night. And let me tell you, I'm going to need to watch that at least 3 more times. It was beautiful. It's wonderful. I don't necessarily understand what happens. The dress is amazing. Anne Hathaway is spectacular. And I can't wait to watch it again. I would love to explain it anything more than a pop star needs a dress for her new show. How about that? That's the log that I'm going to give you. It's a comedy. It's a horror. It's a strange, it's a David Lowery film. Ghosts are involved because David Lowery loves ghosts. So Mother Mary, I am really fascinated to see what you think about it. It's still for rental right now, but when it's on streaming, check it out. Also, that's my recommendation. But also, I just thought I'd share a little bit at the end of the show. I've got a new book. I got a new book that I wrote. I think that's framed up. I'm looking at the reflection there. Mayhem at the Movies with a foreword for my best bud there from Thornberry. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you can't see anything here because this is all marked up because this is my test copy, but this should be available very soon. It's just all about awesome, amazing movies that we love to talk about. You know, as you guys know, I've probably seen Tango and Cash 173 times. But you know what? You can only watch Tango and Cash like 3 or 4 times in a day before you want a little something new. So I started thinking about all the new films that are like some of these old films. And that's what the book's about. Every movie that is like your Tango and Cash, that is like your Terminator 2, that is like your Running Scared from 1984. All those kind of movies. It's in the book. We talk about them. We love them. Had a great time. And so that should be available soon. That's what I got. Awesome. Matt, you got anything else before we go?
See ya.
Laters.